Deliberate Living is excited to present a new series entitled What Not to Fear. Yes, you heard me right. What Not to Fear. One of my favorite reality shows is What Not to Wear, where individuals are chaperoned through their current fashion status. Someone probably recommends that they could do a little better. They're then given the resources to make changes on one condition: that they are willing to forsake all their present wares, get rid of the old style, and embrace a new style. But here we'll discuss something different. What not to fear. What is fear? Wikipedia defines fear as a distressing negative sensation induced by a perceived threat, or being afraid of someone or something as likely to be dangerous, painful, or threatening. Fear is also a survival mechanism. It was intended to protect you from things that were dangerous, and of such, they're real physiological responses that have deep chemical mechanisms. All those hormones that come to play, and we talk about fight and fright and flight to help us escape demise. Someone also defined fear as false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. Sometimes our fears are based on real evidence, and other times it's false evidence appearing real. Some years ago, my father at his home had a long day on the farm. They had retired to bed early, but early in the wee hours of the morning, he was awoken by a disturbing sound. It sounded to him as if someone was lifting the zinc from the roof of the house. He tiptoed to where he thought the sound was coming from, and yes, as he approached, it got louder and louder. He came back, armed himself with something that he could defend himself with. Fear was now mounting, and he stopped by my brother's room to get a backup. My brother then warned him we probably should call the police, because by now he also had heard the sound of alarm. The police were soon on the scene. Armed together with my brother, my dad pointed to the source of the sound. The policemen made their forceful approach to the sound. They would be safe. And then one policeman stepped back laughing. The other rolled with laughter. The third individual was a worker who was asleep in the attic and snoring away. Yes, it did sound like zinc being lifted. The fear was real fear, though the evidence was imaginary. Real or imaginary? What are the results of fear? As I said before, fear should usually result in protection from danger. That is if the threat is real. But many times, whether real or imagined, our fear results in disease, fatigue, lowered immunity, unfulfilled dreams, mediocrity, lost opportunities, mental illness, low self-esteem, and compromised relationships. What are you afraid of? There are so many phobias out there. Some people are afraid of death, others are afraid of Alzheimer's, failure, disappointing others, yet others are afraid of physical helplessness, illness, being made redundant, loneliness, uncertain future. Are you afraid of conflict, making bad decisions, being rejected, stupidity? Do you fear public speaking, losing important relationships, poverty, or success? There are some very strange phobias, like eleutherophobia, the fear of freedom, epistemophobia, the fear of knowledge, Pediophobia. Yes, there are people who are afraid of dolls. And listen to this one. Cacophobia, the fear of ugliness. There's also ecclesiophobia, the fear of church. Uranophobia, the fear of heaven. And yes, you may know someone who has this one. Pantophobia, the fear of everything. But you know, in order to live deliberately, you need to face your fears and take actions. You don't have to be afraid of fear. You just need to face your fears and take the appropriate action. And that's why we'll be discussing for the next couple of weeks what not to fear. For you see, God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardness, of craving and cringing and fawning fear. But He has given us a spirit of power and of love and of a calm, well-balanced mind and discipline and self-control. That's what Timothy said in 2 Timothy 1 and verse 7. What then are you afraid of? I'm interested to know. Send me a list of the things that you fear, just in case I don't have them on my list. And then we will palpate the process of eradicating our fears. The first step we will take is identifying your fears, making a list of your current fear status. What's in your fear wardrobe? How are you looking? And if you're not too sure, explore them with friends. Allow them to tell you what they think you're afraid of. So first, you must admit, accept, and expose your fears. Next, you must be willing to surrender your present fears. And thirdly, you must accept the tools to overcome these fears. The Bible says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear or dread? The Lord is the refuge and stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Psalm 27 and verse 1. There are so many scriptures in the Bible that will guide us through the process of knowing what not to fear. For example, say to those who are a fearful and hasty heart, "Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. With the recompense of God, He will come and save you." Isaiah 35. I am so excited about exploring your fears, and yes, some of mine. You don't want to miss 1 week of this discussion. Perchance we miss your greatest fear. I am Patrice Williams-Gordon, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks where we will explore what not to fear.